So this is Midrash Rabbah, Parshat Shemot, and it's entitled Just-in-Time Encounters, Moshe, Just-in-Time Encounters. And I noticed a pattern going on in Midrash Rabbah in Parshat Shemot and beyond, and I wanted to just put them all in one place and see how, taken together, there's a very important message coming through here, and that is how Moshe was always seemed to be at the right place at the right time, or just in time for some kind of dramatic encounter. You could start with the fact that he was born premature. And so when the Egyptian authorities came to look for him, he was already in the basket floating down the Nile. So that was just in time that he was born early. Of course, he's coming down the Nile, and just at that moment, the princess of Egypt does something unbelievable, sort of in a grand revolt against her father, who's the one who's perpetrating the killing of Israelite boys. She decided to become an Israelite, and she's going in, and the Nile is like a mikvah for her, and she's leaving her faith of idolatry at that very moment. That's why she's there. And of course, she's able to see the basket and see the greatness of Moshe. So amazing, just at that moment. And then, of course, you have when the soothsayers look and they see that Moshe is, in the Nile, they assume that he's drowning in the Nile, so they assume that was a mission accomplished as far as drowning the children. Of course, another just in time is he comes there and an Egyptian taskmaster is about to kill an Israelite. Now, it happens to be Datan Avira, which is a whole other interesting subject. But he's just in time to save the life of this Israelite. Another one, of course, is he runs, to Midian, and there, just as he gets to the wells, it happened to be that his future father-in-law had just abandoned idolatry and resigned as being a priest, and the local townsmen were very upset, and when his daughters were coming, since no one would work for him anymore, so his daughters were tending the sheep, and they were going to hurt them in some way, and Moshe appears and is able to save them. All that coming just in time. Even the burning bush, Moshe happens to be, tending his flock at the same spot where the burning bush. Now you could say, hey, of course, God arranged that. Hey, guess what? God arranged all of these. Midrash mentions that just as Moshe and Aaron come to see Pharaoh and do their tricks with the stick turning into a snake, it happens to be they walked into the big birthday party, a big birthday bash for Pharaoh, and heads of state from all over the world are coming there and bringing money and showing off who their gods are. And of course, when they come to the door, it's assumed they're going to be bringing money or something valuable, and all they do is trying to lecture them on why they have to let the Jewish people go and how their God is not the real God, and they have their stick in hand. Later on, we see that as the Marcos is starting in the next Parsha, so Hashem sends him just as Paro is relieving himself in the Nile because he's trying to keep up this, he's pretending like he is a god, doesn't want anybody to see that he has to relieve himself. That's when Moshe comes to tell him and warn him about the coming of the first plague. So what does this all mean when you put it all together? I know I was thinking recently, this is being recorded after the Yahrzeit of Shlomo Carlebach, and people were at a lively table discussion about Shlomo Carlebach. And to me, one of the most amazing things, if you read the stories of Shlomo Carlebach, you see, let's say, 50 examples of how he was put in a critical time in somebody's life when they were challenged with fundamental questions of Jewish faith, and even to keep on living. And he was there to turn everything around and bring them back. And so that is the greatest testament that Hashem loved him and he was God's messenger. And I think, L'havdil, this is also true. Moshe Rabbeinu is also the reason the Midrash brings so many different stories like this, is because He is obviously God's messenger in the critical times in his life and what he's learning, and of course in the destiny of the Jewish people, this vital mission of taking them out of Egypt, bringing them, through the desert to get to Torah and ultimately to get to Israel. Have a great Shabbos.